Welcome to What Remains Unsaid. No quick answers, no polished narratives, only what lingers when everything else is stripped away. Today, we sit with a female who makes art with fashion. Suspect, Silvia B from Holland, based in Rotterdam. An artist who is always underground but still showing her art in museums for many of years. Your work seems to dissolve boundaries between categories. What troubles you most about the way we categorize?
Well, categorization is kind of similar with bringing hierarchy into the world, and that's something I don't really understand. I never understood. So the idea that humans are a kind of super species and we can, do whatever we like with all the other species, I never understood it. And also the hierarchy between humans themselves. I mean, the white male was, of course, always on top. Happily, we're kind of getting closer now to that as a female, and also at the other people than the whites. But I can even remember when I was very young that my parents were looking like, look what a big ass she has, and I thought, oh, so she has that? I mean, yeah, everybody's different. Or my mother saying something about people that came out of a very large American car, which I thought was really nice and beautiful. And she said, why do these ordinary people need such a big car? And I thought, well, be happy that somebody drives it. I mean, it makes the world nicer, right? So I just never understood it, but it's a fact that the world is, full of categories.
When does categorization become limiting or even dehumanizing?
Well, I think it's also a really dangerous thing, because if you really, start treating other people like they were animals, and we know what we do with animals in the bio industry, for instance. It becomes really easy to, do all kinds of awful things with them, which is completely, for me, ununderstandable, but it's happening. So categorizing is, for me, really a dangerous thing. I think we should be all equal as humans, but also as all the other species. Yeah.
Why do you think humans place themselves above other species?
Yes, we are, of course, this one bold, extremely creative species, and we think we're much more intelligent and everything than all the other ones. But I think it's really crazy to think the whole world is just made for us as some kind of playground. So actually it was kind of emphasized in my work, because I started at one point collecting all kinds of those animal curiosities you find on flea markets, like handbags from snakes made out of snake leather, and lamps from shells, and knives with little deer feet on it. And that became kind of a crazy collection with over, 400 objects. And then I got also really informed about all the things we do to other species. So this hierarchy is so really crazy and stupid, and it's, in my idea, completely the wrong way to walk. So it had quite an influence on my work, that crazy collection of animalities, I call them. Yeah.
What does being human mean to you, beyond what we've been taught?
Wow, that's kind of a strange question. I think for me it has a lot to do with growing up. I mean, when you're really small, you kind of assume everybody is good. And then through the fairy tales, you learn there's really good and bad people, but usually the bad people get punished. And then you grow up and you realize it's not really like black and white. Everything is kind of grayish. I mean, good people can do really bad things and the other way around too. So, being human is, I don't know, it's of course being super creative and have this empathy, but also doing completely the wrong things. I mean, we are also extremely hypocrite being human, right? So, yeah, we are a crazy species.
Do you think we are moving closer to humanity or further away from it?
Both, actually, because when I was busy with this animal-human connection, there wasn't much, let's say, vegetable or vegan food to get in the supermarkets, and now that's really improved. And I think now a lot of people know what we're doing with those animals in the bioindustry, whereas some 15 years ago I really had to tell all my friends, but don't you know? No, everybody really thought a farm was still a farm, like in the fairy tales. So that's improved. But on the other hand, it's going also the wrong way. I mean, yeah, I don't even have to explain, I think, with all the popularism, and that's really dehumanizing lots and lots of people and other species. And so, yeah, we're actually being human again, hypocrites, yeah, doing the right thing and doing the wrong thing at the same time.
Your figures exist between worlds. What lives in that in-between space?
That's interesting. Yeah. Well, maybe something more instinctive and intuitive, less rational, I guess. Yeah.
Are your works a fusion or a confrontation of systems?
Well, I make them as fusions, but I also know that the idea is better visualized if you go, let's say, to the end of culture and fuse it with nature. I mean, this, red like a chew is maybe stronger than a leather sandal, of course, if you mix it with those branches. So it's both a fusion and a confrontation, I think. Yeah.
When does a piece feel balanced, and when does it need friction?
Well, it's said we're always looking for balance, but actually, I think to make a good piece of art, it always needs some friction. Actually, I have this motto or thing for myself that I want a piece to be really beautiful. I want to be seduced to come closer, so it must be pleasing for the eye. And then I like it to be something physical, a feeling in your belly. It doesn't need to be exactly erotic, but you need to be, to have this strange feeling of another being. And then I really need this mind crack. Something must be completely wrong, this friction. And then in the end, you kind of feel it in your heart, like a pain in your heart, like you fall in love or something. And when one of these is missing, I think, well, maybe you make something really beautiful, but it's not art, it's just decoration. Yeah.
Are you creating something new or revealing what already exists?
Well, nowadays with these branches, sometimes it really already dictates what it wants to become. I mean, if I find a piece of wood that's already looks like legs, I only have to finish it by making the upper body. So then it's finishing what's already there. But yeah, it also happens the other way around, of course. So it's not just one path, no.
Why do people feel uneasy when they cannot categorize what they see?
I think that's an instinctive thing. You want, yeah. It feels safe if everything is recognizable, I guess. So if it's not, it might feel unsafe. And then, yeah, what I said before, there's these other things like instinctive or intuitive things arousing, which feels maybe strange.
Do you think recognition is necessary for connection?
I think I do. Yeah. Well, for me, it is. I like to, to recognize something in art that really tells a story about life, about being human, what it is to be human. So for me, it's important that it has something to do with humanity that I recognize. Yeah.
Is discomfort a tool for you or a byproduct?
Well, actually, it's a byproduct. But as I said before, I'm also looking for this little friction, of course. So, yeah, usually I have a plan to make a sculpture, and then I also have this plan of the accessories it needs, because I think, well, this is this kind of person, so I guess it wants this kind of shoes or wigs or whatever. But then in the end, the roles kind of turn around, so I'm very often sent back to the city or to the internet to find other shoes or other wigs, because the sculpture just doesn't want it. So it's also a bit of both. I guess I answer every question with two answers that are completely different. But I'm sorry. It is what it is.
Fashion plays a role in your work. What does clothing express that words cannot?
Actually, I myself really like to see the fashion in sculptures or art anyways. Even, throughout the centuries, from the Greek, the Romans, through the Middle Ages. I find it very interesting that you can see the way people hold themselves, or how the curls are, or the spots in the faces, or you can see how people hold themselves, in balance with the greater things they can't control, like religion or politics, or, and sometimes we feel really strong and like we own the world, and sometimes we're really afraid. And I think fashion is the first media to show it. And of course, nowadays it goes much faster than it was before. And of course, nobody really asks themselves, why am I wearing now camouflage colors? But that is for me the interesting thing. Then I see things on the street and I wonder, why is this now in fashion? And then I really try to find the reason. Because when the changing of the the centuries, the change of the centuries, it was very obvious that we were so afraid of the millennial bug that we were really looking at, let's say, nature people. So we also were getting piercings and tribal tattoos, and fur came back into fashion. Because we thought, well, they can live without electricity and without bank passes and all. So it's not something that people in the street really realize, but it's something I really like to think about.
Do you see fashion as a reflection of time or a commentary on it?
I think firstly a reflection. Yeah. maybe also a commentary. Yeah, both again. Actually, for this series, it kind of started when I saw all those unnatural hair colors in the street again. And in my youth, we wore those neon colors because of the nuclear bomb in the 80s, right? So it was also a reflection and a commentary, of course, to wear these neon colors. And now I saw them back and I thought, why? What's happening now? I kind of concluded maybe it's, all those images we see of the plastic waste in the ocean. I mean, the more you see them, the more they get into your mind. And it's such an unnatural thing in a natural environment, which has some strange, awful beauty also. And yeah, there's also this thing about being as far away from animals as we can be now. So we shave all our bodies everywhere, and yeah, the unnatural hair color kind of fits into that picture, I think. So yeah, it's reflection, but also commentary, I guess. And for me, it's really inspiring enough to start a whole new series.
When do you know it's time to move on?
Well, like now. I know I kind of said everything I wanted to say with this series, so it's time for something new. But I haven't found it yet, so I'm kind of looking around and I'm a bit in nowhere land until my eye gets caught onto something, I guess. So, yeah. It's just when something is said.
Do you look back differently at earlier series?
Well, the funny thing is that looking back, it's easier to put words on it. Whereas when you start a new series, you are making the sculptures and the drawings and things, but then when you are going to exhibit them, everybody's asking, what's it about? And then, okay, words. So that's always very difficult. But as years pass by and you look back, you know much better why and what. And so, yeah, if I look back, I understand more what I was doing than at the time. Yeah.
When is a work finished for you?
Well, I am what they call a perfectionist. So I guess I stop when there's nothing more to do. Yeah, when it's really like stupid to make another spot or so it's, yeah. And when the sculptor is also happy with what it's wearing. So yeah, I kind of think we both have to be happy. Yeah.
Is that a rational decision or intuitive?
I think it's really an intuitive decision to say it's finished, because yeah, sometimes you start with a rational plan, but then yeah, ratio doesn't really work when you're kind of working on a piece of art, and it's just a feeling that says, okay, it's done.
How much of you exists within your work?
I think quite a lot. Yeah. I'm always surprised when artists look completely different from the work. I think I just make nephews and nieces. It's my family. So yeah, there's not much space between me and my work, I guess. No.
What do people project onto your work that surprises you?
Well, I do get to hear lots of times that they find it scary, and that's not something that I aim for. And I don't find it scary myself at all. But then again, everybody is looking with his own, little luggage of the books they read and the films they saw and their lives. So everybody sees actually something completely different. Well, I do know, of course, that I like to put this friction in it, and I know it's, usually a little bit outside of normality, but to me, it's never scary. But I don't know. It's always surprising to me when people say it's scary. Yeah.
Do you feel responsible for how it is interpreted?
Well, what I do actually is try to look at it as a visitor instead of as a maker. I really try to look at it at all kinds of angles to see what possible associations there are. And of course, you don't want, very wrong political associations. If that happens, I try to change it, of course. But other than that, I like to leave a lot of doors open so everybody has an entrance wherever you come from.
You've just won the Hendrik Chabot Prize. Congratulations. Does recognition change how you view your work?
I don't think so. It's kind of funny, this recognition, because though I did exhibit in several musea and I'm working for quite a while now, and I always kept feeling kind of underground because my path has always been not really straight, and I didn't finish the academy because I wanted to combine fashion and sculpture, but at the time that was completely not the idea. Multidisciplinarity is now very hip, but then it was not the thing to do. So I quit the academy, and it was also in the beginning quite hard as a girl sculptor. I mean, the world was really dominated by men, of course, everywhere you came. I mean, in musea, but also, in galleries, your fellow colleagues, sculptors, but also when you go to the shops, everywhere were men. So you really had to to fight for your place in there. But I must say, I'm not really a fighter. I just want to make my work, and I'm not so super ambitious that I fight for my place in the art world. So I always kept thinking I'm there, but I'm not really in the spotlight. I'm underground. So, but this prize is kind of, it kind of surprised me. Like, why am I now mainstream or what?
Does exhibiting in a museum context shift something for you?
Well, it's also recognition, of course, and it's a beautiful environment usually. And it's really nice that there's no commercial things about it. It's just, about showing the work in the best way it can be shown. So, I really like being in a museum. It's always a warm bath. I mean, And of course, it attracts much more visitors than a gallery or an artist-run space. It's nice.
And if we stop ranking everything, what do we become?
Well, I would say much more human, as it was meant to be. Yeah. But I don't think we can stop ranking. No. For this series, I also got into reading Donna Haraway, and she has this word worlding, which I really liked because it's the world not as an object or as a subject, but as a verb. We really have to work together to make the world, we and also the other species. So that would be really a human thing to do.
If you can say something to our Møodhood followers, what will that be?
step into the world like you are still this little child without any, presumptions, and try to look frankly to the world, to other people, to other species, and also to art. I mean, if you look at it more intuitive than rational, I think it's the best entrance. And then, of course, the more you know, the more you see. But yeah, keep being a child, I would say.
Thank you for your cooperation, Silvia B. You can go now. For now. Did you like it? Please subscribe to our YouTube channel and leave a comment below.